very, very soon. I should probably actually get that up. But yeah, I do sincerely apologise for the lateness, guys. I do sincerely apologise, and to all the guys that are missing out because of my lateness. I do again have to can only apologise for that. Just gonna get the thumbnail sorted, and then I'm gonna get it in the chat, and then we'll get going for what is looking to be a very, very exciting night of racing. There it is. The brilliant stuff from Palestine. Right, boosh. Need to be quick because they're all waiting on me, and I feel really bad, and I should be more professional than this. I sincerely apologise. Right. I'm never going to live this down, am I? Right. Got that sorted. Hello, hello, Ghost. So the reigning champion coming here to have a chat instead. He's got his legs up. He's done a Rosberg. Jesus Christ. I'm never going to live this down, am I? Exactly. Ready to get back into it. Be waiting for hours. Yeah, it's a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it? Right. Still just waiting. Right. People are ready enough, it seems. Are they? No? I don't even know. When are we getting going, guys? Anyone actually know? Because, I mean, I'm late, but I'm still waiting, so... Not all my fault. There we go. So, welcome back, everyone, and it's that time once again. After a small break, we are back once more for the Sunday night sprints. Tonight we kick off the inaugural round of Season 2. The hype is insane. Last season saw incredible scenes with Ghost taking the championship and Williams with what can only be described as utter domination. It wasn't always sunshine and rainbows for them though, and the rest of the field were always ready to eat them up at any given opportunity. We saw Pals taking his maiden podiums on a wheel, Ethan taking a home victory in front of his incredible fans, and last season was definitely something to behold. Season 2 has its work cut out if it wants to top the first, but it's always some incredible action. We'll just have to wait and see. We kick off the first round of the season then, travelling across the Atlantic and to the state of Texas for the Circuit of the Americas. One of the newly built circuits, joining the calendar back in 2012, with corners based off some of the most iconic in the world, such as Silverstone's Maggots and Beckett's. 20 corners, 3.4 miles, and a lap record of a 1:36.169 by Charles Leclerc will negotiate a lap of the iconic circuit, which has brought so many memorable moments, such as Kimi Raikkonen's win in 2018, and also birth of the Nanyang guy. We get ready for tonight's action then. One shot quali, 25% race, you know the drill. I'm Zach Sweeney and this is the APPF1 Sprint Championship, brought to you of course by the brilliant TC Focus. It is time. Let's get ready then, guys. One shot quali, 25% race, you guys know the drill, and then reverse grid as we travel across to the Middle East for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Let's get it going then. 8 people watching, guys. Do make sure to keep liking the stream as well. The reigning champion has done a Rosberg. He's left. He's jumped ship. He's obviously too scared to defend his title, it seems. But we're going to have to see if we can crown a new champion. It's looking good. We have a prediction for pole. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with probably Vardy, maybe Davila or someone. I mean, we've got some new entries. We've obviously got Norwich fan, who's going to be the new entry. We'll have to see what he can do. A fellow Norfolkian joining us tonight. But then here we go. We'll go on board with Vardy. He seems to be the master when it comes to hot laps. Then coming down towards turn 1, or I should say up towards turn 1. Very different lines you can take through. You want to hit a nice late-ish apex to get a good run. Then coming towards turn 2, just completely flat. And then heading towards the Maggots and Begets-esque corners, just completely flat. Just got to really chuck it in a little bit wide from him. And he's invalidated. Vardy has actually invalidated his lap time. So that is probably the runner-up in the championship already on the back foot, as well as Davila, another favourite to take pole, also having a bit of a struggle. And Gremlin, another fast driver, and Knowing Light, another fast driver. It seems the quick guys really struggling to get to grips with the circuit. So it seems like the cobwebs are certainly there. We've got a very close fight at front. Palf's now in the Alfa Romeo, jump ship from Haas and gone for the Alphas. We'll have to see what he can do. Of course, the real life Alfa Romeo driver won here 2 years ago, so we're going to have to see what he can do. Patterson on pole. Ethan has come here with a bang. Palf's getting himself up in towards P5. We'll have to see what we've got now. We've got round about a sector left, a half a sector left-ish, coming into this really weird cambered corner then, and completely flat for the triple right-hander, you could say. Completely and utterly flat. Bring it over to the right-hand side for turn 19. Just got to completely send it. Try not to extend as best you can. As you can see, Palf's doing. Goes a little bit wide, but I think that was more the lag bubble. And then third gear, use the camber, help rotate the car, get on the power nicely. And Ethan goes with the first pole position of this season. A 31.0, 2/10 clear of Sumo. And third place man Scott coming home in P3 with a 31.6. Very close between Scott and Ted. But Ethan then, he's coming out here with a bang. Of course, won his first race last season. Let's see if he can convert pole to a win here tonight. It's going to be tough for him to do, of course. He's got a lot of pressure on him. And, well, it's going to be difficult. So it is Patterson on pole ahead of Sumo, who will join him on the front row. Scott in P3, very consistent qualifying once again in the Mercedes. Ted P4, Palf in P5, Bluey P6, Hephaestus P7, Kiza in P8, Starry in P9, Max in P10, and the fellow Norfolkian of Norwich fan in P11, QB in P12, and then Kington, Vardy, Davila, S-Man, Wayne, Knowing Light, and Gremlin all disqualified. So almost half the grid there disqualified from what was a very weird qualifying session, it seems, tonight. Well, that is the first qualifying session of this season done, and Ethan is going to line up on pole position. It is going to be it's going to be close. I'm sure his fans were all watching, cheering him on, ready to get going for the first race, and we'll have to see how he gets on. A very weird run towards turn 1. Of course, it's a very wide entry. Someone can stick it all the way to the left and just shoot up the inside as you're trying to turn, and then you sort of have to try and give him the space as best you can. So it's going to be very close and a very manic start. Everyone going to be wanting to get the season off with a bang. I bet the fans are going to be going wild. Of course they are. Ethan's fans, very passionate, and we'll have to see how he gets on. Of course, not the most easy track to defend. Of course, it's very easy to overtake, but I'm sure he's going to be fine. And of course, he had to defend from the reigning champion for quite a while last time he won the race. So have to see. Waiting for S-Man just to load in, and then we'll get underway for the first race of the season. Of course, a formation lap will go ahead. So Patterson has a lap just to let it all sink in that he's on pole position. We'll have a quick look at the tyre strategy. Seems everyone's gone for the softs apart from Kington, going for that alternate strategy of the medium compound tyre. Very interesting then. He's the only one doing that, so we're going to have to see how the alternate strategy works for Kington then. Down in P13, but predicted pit stop strategy then, soft to medium or soft to hard, pretty much the usual, but we'll have to see how they fare for 14 laps. Of course, safety car isn't out of the question at all, and of course, with it being the first race of the season, the cobweb's definitely going to be rubbing off there, and the sprint championship is not something you often see. So even if they have got other leagues, it is definitely something they have to adapt to. But you can see Patterson then in the Williams, the reigning championship car. Seems as though they've picked him up then, and hopefully he can carry that success forward. But Patterson, yeah, he's got some big shoes to fill. but it seems he's doing a pretty good job of that so far. But 1 lap in quali does not compare to 14 laps in the race. It's where the main points are scored. Team Alpha now. Team Alpha? What? You're supporting Keezer and QB? Not Paus and Dave. But S-Man has left the session, so he's lagged out. He had some connection problems, it seemed, a couple of moments ago when he struggled to load in. He's now actually left the session, so hopefully it doesn't glitch the lobby out, as I have seen that happen a couple of times. Hopefully the sun doesn't disappoint. I mean, he's P5. Very, very consistent qualifying. We do often see him around about P5. So we're going to have to see how he gets on. Yeah, you can see Ethan backing the grid up quite a lot. Just weaving around, getting some temperature into the tyres, of course, helps with the grip, having them in that prime temperature window, and especially on the softs. Not too difficult to warm up, but it's going to be good. Well, spell it right then. You're one, you know, not to correct spelling, but you can see now Patterson coming through the final corner. And adrenaline's definitely going to be pumping. We'll have to see if he can convert. Sumo very quick and very aggressive. Scott very consistent. Ted also up there. And Paus, I mean, if he gets himself in a good position in his Alfa Romeo, we'll have to see what he can do. But they're all lining up onto the grid now, ahead of 5 red lights for the season opener here in Kota. And Hux here, ready for lights out. We'll have to see what we can, if they can put on a good show. The 2 McLarens lining up on 18th and 19th. Gonna have to see what they can do later on in the race, because they are both very quick and very good when it comes to comeback drives. But here we are then, the green flag has been waved. We're getting ready for the lights to illuminate your screen. Then here we go. We're to 5 red lights. And we're underway and racing then for the season opener for season 2 of the APPF1 Sprint Championship. And it's a great run from Sumo, who's already looking to get the lead into turn 1. But Patterson is not going to do that very lightly. 3 abreast as they negotiate their way through. But Sumo's going to take the lead of the race. And it looks as though Patterson's been swamped. He's now got Ted on his outside, who's had a great start. Side by side through the S as they go then. Here's one going to concede. No, they're not. Ted tries to keep the foot in. But Patterson going to hold on for second place at the moment. Further back, it seems as though Scott has had a pretty poor start. And so has Paus, down 3 possessions and fighting with Kington, who's had an incredible start, up 6, and Gremlin already up 9. Incredible starts. Yellow flag actually set the 2. It seems as though something has happened, but everyone seems to have mainly gotten away cleanly, apart from the Alpha of Davila, and a lot of people down a lot of positions. But Gremlin then with an astonishing start, already up to P9. Incredible stuff, but it looks as though everyone's just trying to funnel their way through on this opening lap, and Scott trying to recover from what was a pretty poor start. Have faced us up a few positions, and that is turn 1 at Kota for you. There's a Mercedes going very, very wide to try and defend. It looks as though the Mercedes of Bluey having to defend from Kington, who's going to go around the outside. Isn't quite going to be able to do it, but Kington on the medium tyres, remember, trying to settle in and get into a nice groove, but doing an incredible job up into P7 already. Paus have to see what he can do. But up the front, Patterson hadn't had the best of starts. Max already with a 3-second time penalty. But Patterson just needs to settle in. He had the pace in quali. Can he keep it with Sumo? Maybe just to stick in DRS range. Paus on the back of Kington has got the better tyres at this stage in the race. But it seems they won't be better for very long. Timing glitch as per usual, but Paus coming onto the back of Kington, using his overtaken to the inside. It doesn't look like the Ferrari's going to fight this one very much. The McLaren of knowing, like, looking to the inside to try and follow him through. The Ferrari to the outside. Very nicely done from Paus to get himself back up and mitigate that position loss down to only 1, and on a charge now for Bluey in front. 1.8 seconds is the gap. Have to see as we got a timing glitch. Absolutely brilliant stuff when we're trying to cover a very close and tight race. Kington on the back of Gremlin, who seems to have managed to get through then into the S's. So Kington, after a great start, seems to be going a little bit backwards, but not too bad. It looks as though Vardy is in the pits, so might have picked up a bit of first lap damage as we come on to lap 2. Hopefully the timing glitch can sort itself out, and Patterson just needs to stay within that 1 second range. This is real people playing. Down in towards the braking zone then, and looking to get himself closer to Sumo, but it doesn't look like he's pushing too hard, just trying to stick behind him. Probably the best bet for him. Ted up a place into P3, looking to start the season off with a podium would be pretty good. There goes Scott up the inside of Hephaestus, then very nicely done to hold on to P4, and Bluey looking to follow his teammate through. He's now sandwiched between the two Mercedes. Is the racing point of Hephaestus up 2 positions, and Bluey just holding station, but around the outside goes Bluey to claim P5. Incredible move then from the man who was looking to chase after Scott. And what would the season opener be without the squeaky door? Here comes Palf then on the inside of the racing point. There we go. Finally getting himself up into P6. Very nicely done from Palfs. And he's got no. Palfs has spun and got a bit too excited on the loud pedal. And he's now been spun round. And has he collected Hephaestus with him? It looks as though he has. Gremlin with a 3-second time penalty. Very, very strange stuff as Wayne now trying to get onto the back of the local Australian. And Starry in front up to P8. Very nicely done, but Gremlin up 13 places. Bit of contact with the Williams and the Renault though. Very, very close. And to the inside goes the William. He's going to dart to the inside, claim the corner. Very nicely done, but DRS at the front. Patterson will have DRS Sumo to the inside to try and break the toe. Of course, the slipstream is very, very powerful on this game, but it doesn't look like Ethan's going to be close enough to challenge at the moment. Mark is not at all proud of Palfs. Here comes Gremlin then to the outside of Bluey. Is he going to claim the corner before the braking zone? Yes, he is. The McLaren through the fast right-hander of turn 18 as Patterson picks himself up a 3-second penalty. The Williams are going to go underneath once again of Wayne to be the outside for turn 19. Kington has to cut the curb a little bit there to hang on to that position, but knowing like just sitting back, it seems the other McLaren also making a lot of gains in this race as well. Incredible stuff, and Patterson closing on to Sumo a little bit more, but remember, 3-second time penalty isn't going to be too nice to him, and at this moment it will drop him to P3. A lot of battles going on. That's Kington a little bit sideways. That's going to make him lose the position to knowing like who's going to go around the outside. Is he going to keep his footing into the S's? No, Kington going to back out of that one, and probably wise of him to do so. Is that Palfs now down to P15. Remember, he has got the reverse grid sprint race left to go. Is that a fight for the race lead? I hear up the front. Yes, it is, as they come towards the DRS zone. Then Patterson wanting to get past Sumo, who stole his pole position towards turn 1. He's already to the inside, completely white-lining it. But here comes the Williams then in the slipstream. He's using his ERS overtake. The Renault moves over back to the left-hand side, but isn't quite going to be able to cover him off, and that is Patterson cleanly up into the race lead once again. Can he hold on to it though? And it is Sumo going to stay with him. Of course, the 10 laps of this race remaining. It's only just begun, and Sumo is going to need to stay with him, of course, because Patterson has got a 3-second time penalty, so just needs to stay with him and he should be fine. But now Patterson can stretch his legs a little bit, as everyone's now sort of trying to spread out a little bit. But Gremlin on the charge then. 14 places gained, 9 of which were gained on the first lap into the turn 1. Incredible stuff, but he's got some incredible pace, as you can tell. Up to P5 from P19 on the grid, and now charging after Scott, who is pretty much a fan favourite when it comes to these races. 3-second penalty, of course, but shouldn't hold him back too much. He should be fine. We'll have to wait and see, but Sumo is still in the DRS of Patterson. He's got a little bit more ERS, probably pretty much equal pegging when it comes to that, and he's going to have the slipstream, but just needs to be careful not to cut exactly like that. Probably picked himself up a couple of warnings there, so not the most efficient way to take the S's, it seems. Probably better if you just straight line them, but you do get penalised quite heavily for doing that. Knowing like on the back of Wayne as well. Looks like we just got a couple of pairings going on, so no sort of intense battles, but they are just following each other in the slipstream, waiting for the pit stops or whatever. Great pass from Ethan, exactly. Integrity did a very good job. Is this Sumo now closing after Ethan? Is he going to go to the inside? Doesn't look like he's going to go for it on this particular occasion. Not quite close enough, so Ethan going to hang on for a lap more. Great battle and boiling up at the front, and a great way to start the season. Patterson will want this win, knowing like getting himself up the inside of the Williams, and the McLaren up another position. The two McLarens on a charge in 5th and 7th, despite starting at the back of the grid. They have some incredible pace then, it seems, and looking good for the reverse grid race, practicing getting their way through the field. Starry on the back of S-Man, who had some connection issues, but he's back in and raring to go, and already made himself back up the grid despite losing out a little bit. Now towards what I believe to be turn 17. and then into 18 and 19. S-Man really lagging about there. You can see he's just glitching all over the place. Not the most ideal way. He's got a big lock up into turn 19 though, and that allowed Starry up the inside for a little bit, but not for very long, as S-Man then just quickly glitched right back in front of him. Sumo trying to follow Patterson, but again he's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. So equal pegging at the front now. Patterson and Sumo level when it comes to penalties. All Ted needs to do is stay with them and keep himself clean and try not to pick up any penalties of himself. Just outside to pick up the lead of the race. 1/10 off picking up the lead of the race. But he's now going to be seeing that and going to start pushing. Not a lot of ERS in the bank though for Ted. Of course, ERS, energy recovery system. When they brake, they convert the heat energy from the brakes to a chemical store in the battery, which powers the motor to give him an extra 140 brake horsepower. Probably double your road car extra in Formula 1 cars to boost them over that 1,000 horsepower mark. Vardy with a 3-second penalty. Not having the greatest season opener in the world then is Vardy. Runner-up in the championship, moved to Red Bull, and is now sat P15 at COTA. Not the best of ways to start the season. And Sumo now over a second off Patterson, who's now starting to stretch his legs and show his pace. Is he going on for a second win in the championship? We'll have to wait and see in around about 8 or so laps time. Still got pit stops to filter out just yet, so strategy can still play a big factor. Gremlin on the back of Scott as well. The fight for P4 and an extra 2 points in the bag. Very, very crucial when it comes to the sprint championship, because so many points are so crucial. Sumo and Ted then going for the proactive strategy, coming in a lap earlier and putting on the fresh tyres, which could see him propel in front of Patterson. But will Patterson respond later this lap? Gremlin and Scott as well needing to pit soon. So this is now the pit window where people will begin to start trundling into the pit lane. And Gremlin really pushing Scott then, it seems. The McLaren on a charge up to the podium. He's in at the moment a podium place, but after pit stops that will probably fender out to around about P4 or so. Used up all of his ERS to try and get through the field, so hasn't got a lot to battle Scott with, but he will have the DRS, the drag reduction system, the rear wing flap opening to reduce the drag and help him down the straights. Just about keep him with him, and he needs to try and save a little bit of overtake. But Scott got quite a lot to help him defend, and using a little bit down the straight just to defend a little bit. Look, don't let him get too close. The other McLaren on the back of the other Mercedes and going for the move to the outside for a net P4. And around the outside, keeps the foot in. Very nicely done, and that is Bluey down to P5 and knowing like up to P4. The two McLarens really charging their way through. Incredible stuff. Max as well on the back of Ted, who's on some fresh medium tyres. Will Patterson respond on this lap? He's coming into the pits, just needs to keep it tidy. Does not want to bottle the pit entry. Very nicely done. And in he comes to the pit lane. And so will Scott and will Gremlin and will Knowing Light as well. The McLarens have got a bit of a gap. Is it enough? And no, the McLaren is going to stay out. Doesn't want to risk the double stack. So we'll go on board with Sumo then. This is crunch time for him. He's coming around the final corner now. Where is Patterson? Seems like he is now leaving his pit box. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. Where is he? Is that Patterson there? Now leaving the pit lane. Yes, it is. So he's actually come out pretty safe and clear of the Renault behind. So very nice there from Patterson, and a great stop to keep him in front as Scott picks himself up a 3-second time penalty and has actually gained a bit of time to Ted. Has the undercut not worked out entirely well for the undercut runners? QB just negotiating his way through. Went up a couple of places after people came into the pit lane. Great stuff from McLaren and Mercedes. Do definitely have to agree, this is a great start to the season after what was a pretty shaky last season, especially for Mercedes. Did not score many points, but they've started with a whole new driver lineup, and it seems to have worked with them. They've got Scott, they've got Bluey's, two incredible drivers who have definitely been up there and really scoring consistently. And McLaren as well, Gremlin and Knowing Light, some incredible drivers, and they're on a charge. Here goes Scott around the outside of Ted, who tried to defend, but the overspeed of the Mercedes catapults him up into what I believe to be a net P3 position. But Ted, with no penalties, just needs to keep it clean. Don't mention the assist of who? Do you think he has racing line on? God knows. Knowing light into the pit lane though, and is Bluey. So the teammates now coming in. They're on the compromise strategy because they couldn't, of course, double stack, and that would cost them a lot more time. How much time though is the question. Everyone now coming past. Where is Gremlin? He's on the back, on the mediums. Has lost a little bit of time to Scott and Ted in front, but he is closing, but doesn't have a lot of ERS to use. Ted sticking with Scott with the DRS. Patterson comfortably out in front. He's got 3-second time penalty, but so does the two behind him. So he's just trying to keep his nerve and hang on at the moment. Is that Vardy up into P10? It seems as though it is. He's trying to take those tyres to the end. Going to be a big ask for him if he can do that. But fair play if he can. S-Man into the pits and now coming out in P17 or so. Starry as well on the back of QB, the fight for P11. And then through to end at Sector 1. Is that Ted on the back of Scott, and Wayne also on the back of Bluey. Here comes the Williams on the Mercedes, looking to the inside, couldn't quite find it, stuck in the slipstream, pulls to the outside. Has he got the overspeed under the brakes? Very nicely, and that's a very common move that we see here at COTA. Just have the overspeed down the straight, and then he's able to pull away on the exit. But Kington on the alternate strategy, he's gone for softs, he's looking very quick, and of course had a great start. Now on the fresh red mark soft tyres, we're going to have to see what he can do. He's got a buttload of ERS to use as well. This is going to be boarding down to be quite the race, it seems. Ted also on the back of Scott. The fight for the podium not done just yet, and Ted still can pick himself up a penalty if need be. Kington on the back of Bluey looking for that move down towards turn 1. DRS open. Is he going to use his overtake, or is he going to wait for the next DRS zone? It looks as though he is going to wait for the next DRS zone. Let Bluey drain his DRS, but Bluey definitely driving really well. Currently P8. Behind the Williams in front, but no penalty as well, keeping it clean. A lot of drivers unable to keep it clean, so if you can keep it clean and still be quick, you're really going to be rewarded in the end, just like Ted, who's sticking with Scott, who has a 3-second penalty, so looking good for that podium. And Gremlin's pace really now dropping off. He's now picked himself up another 3-second time penalty, which is not going to help his bid for the podium one bit. But credit to him completely from starting at the back grid, and same with Knowing Like, both started at the back, and now 5th and 6th, taking home a nice point haul to the McLaren team. Kington now in the slipstream of Bluey. ERS activated. He's not quite going to have the overspeed. I mean, he is closing, and he's closing fast. Bluey to the inside, definitely scared, but brings it back to the right hand side. Is Kington going to be good enough under brakes? Bluey goes in a little bit deep, double front lock up. Gets the drive off the corner though, does Kington, to not manage to pull enough of a gap. Bluey just doing enough on the exit, and has the DRS to defend with, of course, with Wayne in front. He's going to have the drag reduction system to defend with, but Kington, is it inevitable that he gets through? I mean, he's got the soft tyres, he's got the pace. Is it a matter of when? Is a matter of if. And if Bluey can hang on. Oh, very deep though, and he's going to run wide at turn 19. That is going to allow Kington through on this occasion, and ready to charge after Wayne and get himself into the top 7. Gremlin now on the back of Ted, so it seems as though Ted has made a bit of a mistake and fallen off the back of Scott a little bit and into the clutches of Gremlin, who wants to get himself into the top 4, even if only on track. S-Man with a 3-second time penalty. Penalty is very harsh here at COTA. Sorry, getting himself past Max. It seems a little bit of a move down at turn 1, but we're going to stay on board with Gremlin, who is on a bid to get himself up into the top 4. Neither of them with a lot of ERS per se, and Ted without DRS in front, having to conserve energy. Gremlin using as lot as he can. He isn't going to even break the 200 miles an hour mark as he breaks down towards turn 12. Starry picking himself up a 3-second time penalty, but Gremlin now, this is the fight for P4, probably the closest fight on track. Gremlin with 6 seconds, and Ted doing an incredible job to keep it clean. Lap 11 of 14, it's all been boiling down to this. What are the penalties for Ethan and Suma? I believe it's 3 seconds each. You can see the top 3 all with 3 seconds. Ted with no penalties, so as it stands, will find himself on the podium as long as Scott doesn't pull out that extra second. Very close under braking down towards turn 20 between Ted and Gremlin. He's now going to have DRS and the run up towards turn 1. Doesn't really know where to go. Going to go to the outside, the right-hand side, up the hill, braking as late as he can. Ted's still looking on the inside. Is he going to complete the move? Yes, he is. He's going to hang on at the moment for P4, hanging on for dear life. And it's very, very nice battle boarding up here for P4. Gremlin with some astonishing pace though in the open round, it seems, but Patterson controlling the race up front. Sumo not being able to close the gap at all, just staying around that 1.1 second mark. And not at all being able to close a lot. Slowly creeping himself in, but he needs a secure foothold. And what is the ERS situation looking like? Patterson controlling it still with the ERS, using what he needs to. Here comes Gremlin, then DRS open once again. He's got the slipstream. He's got a long way down towards the turn 12 braking zone. Is he closing enough? He's got a lot of speed. Now closing as he even gets more closer. Looking to the brakes. Goes up the inside. Incredible stuff. Gets it stopped. Is Ted going to keep the footing around the outside? Yes, he is on the run down towards turn 13. But around the outside goes the McLaren. Sends it in so deep. But Ted's going to have the traction on the exit as they run side by side down towards turn 16. Has Gremlin got the move done? He's got the inside, and Ted fought valiantly to keep that one, but it looks as though it was more inevitable that Gremlin was getting himself through. Now 3.4 seconds to Scott. Can he close? But remember, 6-second time penalty is going to set him back a little bit outside the top 4, and Ted back up into the top 4. But maybe that battle has cost him a little bit of time to Scott, and maybe knocked him off the podium. So Ted going to be pretty frustrated with that. Kington with a 3-second time penalty as we come on to the penultimate lap. Let's hear from, Ethan's fans. They've been rather quiet considering he's been leading the entire race. Not something you often see. Are they just stunned in shock? Completely speechless. Here comes Bluey on the inside of Kington. Maybe he's got a Williams and Ferrari for company up in front. Gremlin with another 3-second time penalty. Track limits not being kind to him at all. As they now come through turn 9. There's yellow flags into sector 2. I don't believe anything special has gone on there. Maybe just the back marker moving nicely out of the way. Very deep under brakes down towards turn 11, but so is Kington. He's gone a little bit wide. This could give Bluey the run on the exit if he tries. Yes, it is. Before the DRS has made the move and going to have even more overspeed to get his way past. And that is very nicely done from the Mercedes, getting himself past the Ferrari. But is he set clear? Is Kington going to go to the inside into turn 12? Had a look, but more just tried to scare Bluey into a mistake than anything. Bit of a shock block up from Bluey there, but Kington tried. But just that mistake cost him coming into turn 11. At 13 of 14 then as they cross the line then for the penultimate time. Coming on to the final lap then. 20 corners of this race to go. Patterson leads from Sumo, from Scott, and Gremlin up in P4, but with a lot of penalties it's going to cost him. Anything going on towards the tail end of the grid. Palf's on a charge back up. He's now onto this little fight between Starry and Max, the youngster, joining Ferrari after Mercedes last season. Kington with another 3-second time penalty. Penalties really going to affect the course of this race then. Can Palf's close enough? He's got a buttload of ERS left to use. Has Starry. He's got a little bit. Max not so much either. So Palfs and Davila, the dynamic duo that were in house last season, finishing second in the constructors, come to Alfa Romeo. Currently sit at P11 and 14. Not the best open around for the two then, it seems, but coming towards turn 1 for the final time. More accelerating himself to the apex, not what you ideally want to be doing. And he's lost a little bit of time to Starry there, but Patterson now stretching his legs. 2 seconds is the gap back to Sumo. How long has he got left to go? Coming down towards turn 13. He's got 7 corners of the race to go. Just needs to hang on, and I'm sure he's going to be super happy with himself as he can hang on. It's been a great race for Ethan and a great way to start the season. Norwich fan pulling away very nicely to let the leaders through. And a face just on the back of Giza. But here comes Ethan then. Through the penultimate corner, round the final corner, from pole to flag. It is Ethan, the 2-time race winner in APPF1, and wins the season opener ahead of Sumo, who comes at home in P2, and Scott, the 3rd place man in the championship, coming home again in P3. Gremlin crosses the line P4, but Ted will come home P5, and here comes his teammate again from the back of the grid. Both the McLarens driving excellently to finish P5 and 6, and then Wayne a few seconds later will come home in P7. Incredible stuff from Ethan, and I'm sure he's going to be very chuffed with that result. Incredible stuff from the man, and a great way to kick off, hopefully not another season of Williams dominance. Ethan leading the championship, indeed he is. Exactly that. I mean, you can see 5 different teams in the top 5. Williams, Renault, Mercedes, Red Bull and McLaren. No retirements, no safety cars. Everyone got through cleanly. A great start to the season, and an Ethan win. And Gremlin with driver of the day cannot dispute that at all. And he's going to be celebrating the champagne up on the podium, and he's going to be drinking that. And I'm sure he's very chuffed with that result, to say the least. So after an intense season opener, we've still got the reverse grid race yet to go. But what a great race of this, great first race of the season it was. 1, 2, 3 and 4 all stay in station, but that does not tell the whole story. Patterson from pole to flag takes the win ahead of Sumo and Scott, rounding off the top 3 with Ted in P4, Gremlin in P5, Knowing Like P6, Bluey P7, Wayne in P8 and Vardy in P9. Still great to recover into the top 10 for the man who started in P14. Kington P10 on the alternate strategy, very nicely done. Davila and Paus in P11 and 12, Max in P13, Starry P14, Kiza in P15, Hephaestus 16th, S-Man 17th, QB in 18th and Norwich Fan rounding off the grid. Everyone finishing, and a great opening race. We'll have to see what the reverse grid holds with Norwich Fan on pole and QB on the front row with him. Gonna have to see as we travel across to the Middle East and to Abu Dhabi. And the squeaky door moment was, in fact, for the cup of tea delivery, so I do have a tea to drink during the mid-race break. Yeah, penalties really did play a massive factor, didn't they? So now we've got the mid-race break, just while everyone sorts the grid out, or I should say Palf, and they've sorted the grid out. Of course, Norwich Fan is going to be pole ahead of QB, S-Man, then Hephaestus, and so on and so forth. No one DNF, so it is going to be a full reversed grid. But Patterson leading the championship then, and another Williams win. Ghost isn't even here, and Vardy isn't even in the Williams. There's already been a Williams win in the first round, but nonetheless, yeah, exactly. Palf's had a great opening couple of laps, really had some good pace until well, season 2 does not, it's not a new season, new Palfs, let's just say that much. So the feature race is one thing, the sprint race is always another. I mean, we have great feature races, but we also have some great sprint races because the faster guys are trying to negotiate their way through. They find themselves tussling with each other, and who knows what can happen. It seems like a very, very strong grid now for the new season. Of course, Vardy will be starting around the mid-pack, so maybe could get a good start. Who knows? 16 watches, I know. Incredible stuff, and thank you all for the support. Seems as though the new season brings about a lot of hype towards Yas Marina circuit. Absolutely incredible times. I think this is a new record, but only 4 likes, guys. Come on, let's get the likes back up there and boost the channel in the algorithm. And yeah, of course I'm commentating. I was a bit late, 2 minutes late. Come on, allow it. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's all right. Just let me live. Don't saw my throat off just yet. At least I'm here. That's a lot more than some people can say. 17, 16, all Ethan fan. Exactly. Everyone's an Ethan fan. Even if they say they're not an Ethan fan, everyone's an Ethan fan. To quote Sebastian Vettel a little bit. Point zero. We got 2.0 minutes. I'm guessing that's what you mean by there, Mark. Five likes now. There we go. One more. Every little helps, as they say at Tesco. It looks as though we are getting ready to go underway once again, guys, for the reverse grid race. So this is usually where the action happens. I mean, it's going to be hard to top the feature race, but we'll have to see what happens. So here we go then. Yas Marina, not the most yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the most you can do, I suppose. I mean, Vardy starting in 10th on one of his strongest tracks. I mean, Sumo's also pretty good around Abu Dhabi. So we'll have to see what he can do. Have to wait and see, though. I mean, 14 laps, I believe, of Abu Dhabi ahead of us. It's not the circuit that brings the most overtaking. It doesn't promote very good overtaking. Of course, Sector 3 is pretty much 90-degree corners, and then most of Sector 1 is flowing, and then you've got the chicane that breaks up the straight of turn 8 and 9. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, it's got a hotel, it looks cool, but, yeah, well, you can't polish a turd, I suppose. So pretty obvious that it's going to be sunshine here in in Abu Dhabi? Have you actually? No way. Surely not. That's cool if you have. That's awesome. So Norwich fan then leads them off at the formation lap. No qualifying, of course, as it is the reverse grid race, as we said about probably countless times, probably more times than Mark Taylor can count. Damn, that's pretty cool. So a predicted pit stop strategy of soft to medium or soft to hard, pretty much normal proceedings then here in Abu Dhabi. Norwich fan then starts on pole ahead of QB, who will join him on the second row. Just casually saw Mark Webber at breakfast, yeah. S-Man in P3, her face is making it a racing point. Second row, Kiesler in P5, Starry P6, Max in P7, Powers in P8, and Davila joining him right behind him in P9. Kingston in P10, Vardy P11, Wayne in P12, Bluey P13, Knowing Like P14, and Gremlin right behind him in P15. Ted in P16, Scott 17th, Sumo 18th, and the race winner of Patterson rounding off the grid in 19th. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. Sumo and Patterson both starting on the medium tyre, so going for a more casual strategy then, well, an alternate strategy I should say. So going to go slower at the start but have quicker tyres at the end when they've got the lighter fuel, and it's going to be interesting to see how this pays off for them then. I'm guessing that is big quote, like big inverted commas over the word relatively cheap. Probably in comparison to the race weekend. But here is Norwich fan then rounding off and lining himself up on the grid. Very much flew ahead of the rest of the pack. Already lining himself up, and QB's only here. Now passing the pit lane. So he's going to be on a lot colder tyres. Very, very nice. So, Sumo and Ethan now lined up on the grid, ready to go to 5 red lights for the reverse grid sprint race. 14 laps of the Abu Dhabi circuit. We go to 5 red lights, revving up the car. And we're underway and racing. It's a very, very wheel spinny start for everyone, but the pole sitter gets away well. Is that QB getting swamped? They're going to be 3 abreast, sandwiched between the 2 racing points as they both go side by side, going to push each other off a little bit. It looks as though S-Man has gone off the circuit and a timing glitch already. Yellow flags through sector 1, and a safety car has already been brought out, and we didn't even get through turn 1. What has happened then? It seems as though QB has found himself retired from the race, and well, everyone's just trying to find their way through. So a safety car already. What could this prompt? Are people going to go to the hards to the end of the race? And Patterson has been given a 5-second penalty. So a lot of people with 5-second penalties to serve in the pits. What has happened here then? What is that now? 6 people with 5-second penalties. Just for a safety car that QB has caused. So we went the whole of the first race without a safety car. Now straight away in the second one we've got a safety car after turn 1. So Patterson was up a couple of places, up 3, up to 16th. Scott won pretty much the entire grid, up a place apart from QB, who's now down 17 and out of the race. Certainly less than ideal, it seems. But yeah, so safety car, this will be out for a couple of laps. Wonder who's going to pit and who's going to stay out. Does anyone gamble and go for hards? Ah, unfortunate stuff there, QB. Is anyone into the pit lane then? No one coming in. No one biting the bullet. Wayne is coming in. Going for the hard strategy maybe to the end. It is plausible. And the two McLarens also in. So actually quite a lot of people coming into the pits. Vardy as well. So going for the hard compound tyres to the end should really help them. You could probably easily get the hard tyres to the end. And now under the second lap under safety car, Norwich fan has also decided to come into the pit. So he's going to lose out a lot of time, probably fall down to about last. Safety car moving in the braking zone, 5-second time penalty clearly. And he's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to catch up to the pack. Going for mediums actually. Interesting strategy from Norwich fan. So S-Man inherits the lead ahead of Hephaestus and Max onto the podium. Probably going to have one more or so lap under the safety car. And Norwich fan and Bluey both have their work cut out for them if they want to catch the pack. Taylor was hoping for a good quiet Stewart evening. For a quiet Stewart evening. Keyword is hoping. Safety car in this lap then, so we're getting ready to go finally back under green flag racing onto lap 3. So we won't get DRS until lap 6. Of course, the DRS has to wait for 3 laps after the safety car has come in. So S-Man will lead the way. So racing point 1, 2. And a lot of people still to pit. Let's have a quick look at who has made a stop. So Bluey has made 2, Norwich with 1, Gremlin with 1, and all the way up to Vardy have made a stop. So Ethan and well, Ethan, last race winner, hasn't made a stop, so he's committed to a strategy as Kiza picks up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Davila. So this safety car really causing a lot of incidents then, it seems. S-Man becomes the effective safety car. He's allowed to back the pack up as much as he wants. He sets the pace and then can punch it from now all the way up till the timing line when the safety car light turns off. Now peeling into the pit, so S-Man is fully entitled to punch it. He can't punch it and then brake though, coming through the final corner then, really going to back everyone up. And now we're going racing once again. A great restart from S-Man then as he gets into turn 1, pretty much unchallenged from his teammate and everyone else trying to find their way through. Starry looking to the inside of Max but couldn't quite do much. A little bit wide through turn 1 from Starry, and Paus up into P5, up 3 places, and now on the back of the Australian, the Alfa Romeo versus the Renault, and Scott getting himself, there's another yellow flag through sector 1, who's had a spin. Scott and Patterson having a little bit of a tussle, then down towards what I believe to be turn 4 into the chicane. A very nice chicane to take in F1 cars. Doesn't invite the most overtaking in the world, but Patterson on the medium tyres. Still, strategy has a massive implication in this race. Here comes Scott on the inside of Davila, coming down towards the first chicane. Can he get it done? It should be pretty plain sailing under brakes, unless Davila's going to sail around the outside just like that. Incredible stuff. Will Scott try and set up the cutback? Going to look for it. He's going to go over and under. It'll be the outside for the next chicane if he can keep his foot in. Just needs to limit the distance he's going to travel, maybe tuck in for a bit of slipstream. Here's to face this, and Max going side by side where we saw Sergio Perez go around the outside of Lando Norris. The Racing Point tried to go around the outside of it this time, but Max was not having any of it. That is the youngster up into P2. Incredible stuff from the man on a charger, now chasing after S-Man with 10 laps to go. Norris round with a 3-second time penalty. Paus on the back of Starry in the Alfa Romeo. Coming down towards sector 3, very deep from Max, brings it back onto the circuit though, should be pretty alright. Very wide again from everyone as they try and filter their way through here on very, very cold tyres, but Max is on the charge. He's very, very high up, as is the case with the reverse grid sprint race. But Herfaces wants to get back past. He's got a 5-second penalty, remember though, so won't be too much of a challenge as Max sets the fastest lap. He's now got Herfaces going side by side with him down towards turn 1. Will be the outside, as well as Paus going up the inside of Starry. 2 by 2 they go. Has Starry managed to keep that position? Yes, he has. Herfaces still on the outside of Max, but Max going to claim that position and hang on for P2. All while S-Man is licking his lips and getting himself further and further ahead. Here comes Herfaces to the outside. Will be the inside if he can keep it, but Max once again just taking the racing line. Really pacing that car well, and Paus up into P4 as well and trying to get past the faces. Could we see a Paus podium as Max once again very, very wide as he comes back on, just tucking in front of the faces. Surprised he hasn't picked up himself a penalty for that, but Patterson has got himself back past Scott, the championship leader, now funneling through and to the inside of Kiza as well, up into P6, even on the medium tyres. Kiza off the track, and now Scott sending it up the inside to try and follow Patterson through to stay with the man who's on the alternate strategy. So great stuff from Patterson on the medium tyres, as he has got a 5-second penalty actually, I do believe, yeah, 5-second penalty for contact under the safety car to contend with. Max by name, Verstappen by nature, exactly that. Here comes Sumo then on his hard compound tyres to the outside of Kington. Should be a pretty nice move if he can keep it. Sends it to the inside, but Kington going to go around the outside. Sumo's going to go underneath him though. Will it be the inside? Yes, it will. He's going to give him the space, and there goes Bluey. Bluey also looking to get past, and he's going to be side by side with the Ferrari now. Going to be on the outside, and he's going to claim that position. Very nicely done. Patterson still having to pit, so these hard runners are going to be looking good. And here comes Patterson to the outside of Starry. Isn't going to quite find it as easy as he did Scott and Kiza. But yeah, is struggling a bit. S-Man with the fastest lap of the race. So Faces on the back of Max still, and Paus closing fast. He goes purple to the final sector. Ted with the fastest lap as well. So these fastest laps are coming, and as the faster guys find their feet and start to improve, Scott looking to follow Patterson through, because Patterson has brought to the season a buttload of pace. Going to look to the inside of Starry. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. Starry gives him the space, but Ethan not too committed. Going to try and go underneath it. It'll be the outside for the hairpin that leads onto the straight. Is he going to go for the outside of the hairpin? There's contact and the Racing Point's round, and that is going to promote Paus into a podium place. Patterson a bit scared as the Racing Point peels himself back onto the circuit, but there's that Patterson now up into P4. I believe it is. He's past the Renault, and here comes Scott as well, back up the inside and trying to follow Patterson through. It's crucial he makes these moves to stay with him, and Paus up into a podium place, but Max with a 3-second penalty. What caused the spin for Hephaestus then? Very, very weird stuff. But he's very, very weird podium. Don't often see S-Man, Max and Palfs all on the podium at the same time. Let's see if they can have it at Flag's End. Here comes Vardy to the outside of Starry. Isn't quite going to be able to convert around the outside of this chicane. Go Palfs, exactly. That is what we like to see. You cheering them on. But now Vardy on the back of Starry as well. Max on the back of S-Man. He wants the lead of the race. You can tell Max by name, Verstappen by nature, and Palfs also joining there. This is a very, very spicy race. Something you don't often see in Abu Dhabi. But Palfs closing in as well. They've got DRS all enabled. Into the pits comes S-Man and Max. So they are going to lose out because of their pit stop. And Palfs setting the fastest lap and up into the lead of the race. Is it going to stand? As a lot of people don't have to pit just yet. Patterson goes even quicker, a 39.5. He's got some incredible pace, clearly been practicing and has brought to the table a lot of stuff. And looking to continue the Williams dominance over to season 2. Could he make it a double? Or at least a double podium? Anything happening further down? We've got Knowing Light on the back of Vardy, who's still trying to get past Starry in front. Gremlin with a 3-second penalty. Go from bad to worse for the McLaren driver. Palfs is going like an absolute rocket. He really is. He's a man on a mission. Here comes Vardy to the inside of Starry with DRS, with overtake. Should be pretty plain sailing, and up into the top 4 he goes. Gremlin also on the back of Wayne with 3-second time penalty. Is he going to go to the inside? He's going to look, but Wayne moves a little bit over to cover it. And Gremlin not quite committed enough, and it's a very long train behind Starry. They're all queuing up to have a go and get themselves past. So Starry going to the inside, Knowing Light coming to the outside. Should be pretty plain sailing. Is he around the outside before the corner? Brakes very late. Gets it stopped. Very nicely done from the McLaren as Wayne goes in a bit deep. So the other McLaren might look. He's going to go to the inside of turn 12. Very, very good move. Very opportunistic as well to see himself soar up the inside there. Scott still on the back of Patterson. So equal pace. Scott's tyres will start to degrade a little bit more than Ethan's. Anything happening further down? Bluey on the back of Sumo. Go Starry, yeah. He is driving very well. Oh no, Starry went to go into the pits, but had to bail out, otherwise he was going to see himself into the pit wall. As Patterson has now come into the pits as well, going for the soft compound tyre to the end of the race. He's going to have to serve his 5-second penalty though, which is going to cost him quite a lot of time as Wayne comes out of the pits ahead of Starry. Oh, noxious header, man. Great to see you. It's been a while. Bluey on the back of Sumo as well, looking to get to the inside. Isn't quite going to open up. Going to wait for the DRS down towards turn 8. Going to have DRS wide open. He's closing to the inside. Sumo can't cover it off. He's on the hard. Probably to the end of the race. But Palfs and quite a few people still yet to pit. Max has come out in P11, so that's probably the range that Palfs will come out as well when he finally decides to pit. Yellow flags through sector 2. What has happened? It seems as though Norwich fan has gone off, and there's a Renault also going pretty slowly as well. Not too sure what's happened there. Vardy on the back of Scott. The mediums now coming into their own, and Vardy probably to the end on those mediums, I would probably imagine. So it doesn't have to stop, and in a great position around a track that has been said to be one of his favourites. Coming down in towards turn 20 and then into 21. Is Scott going to come into the pits? Yes, he is. He's into the pit lane. And where is he going to come out? Palfs on a mission, though. Still setting some really good lap times up in front. Half a tenth slower that previous lap. And really, really consistent around Abu Dhabi. Bring it through turn 2 into turn 3. The race leader doing an incredible job. Harvesting those softs to lap 8. Or 8 laps long. And now on to 9. So going to have some really nice mediums towards the end. Patterson onto the softs as well. On the back of S-Man. 2 Mercedes-powered cars. S-Man looking to the inside. Brings it back to the right-hand side. Is Ethan going to munch on this opportunity? Yes, he is. S-Man around the outside. Bit of contact. Bit of rubbing his racing. Ethan going to get the power on the outside. On the exit, I should say. And down the inside into turn 2. Very nice move. And S-Man is in a completely different race to Ethan. Those fresh soft tyres are going to allow him to propel himself up the grid. So probably pointless defending from S-Man, it seems. Palfs, yeah, I mean, essentially is, I suppose you could say. But Sumo has had a bit of an incident. He's dropping down or into the pit lane, or there was Yellow Flash who set the one for some reason. And Gremlin looking to get up the inside of Ted. Not going to quite happen down towards turn 12. Palfs is going an extra lap. Technically, Bahrain is closer. Well, they can both be his home Grand Prix. He can have two. He can be lucky. Max and Patterson going side by side. The youngster really defending Verstappen by nature again, we could say. But Patterson very eager to get past. Is he going to go to the inside of what I believe to be turn 15? And then into the last... right-handers, it is actually turn 17. I stand corrected. Yellow Factory sector 3. Seems like more just a Codemasters glitch this time around. Patterson looking to the inside, looking punchy to get his way through, and he needs to start negotiating his way through quicker if he wants any chance of getting himself back up the grid. He's got a good drive off the final corner though and heading towards turn 1, but hasn't quite got the overtake to challenge. I'm just gonna have to set it up with DRS maybe down towards turn 8. 4 laps left to go in this race, and Palfs is still yet to pit. More just enjoying himself up at the front, I believe, than anything else. Bit of a slide from Patterson, and Gremlin's still on the back of Ted. Unable to get through, both running low on ERS. Just needs a good run off turn 9. And let's see how Patterson's doing. He's going to run side by side with Max down towards turn 8. Will have the inside. Will Max send it around the outside? Be as late as he does on the brakes. Patterson going to squeeze him all the way to the outside. Very cheeky from the Williams. And that should be him cleanly up into P9. And Gremlin getting past Ted finally. But is Ted going to have a bit of a counter-attack maybe into turn 15? Into 16 and then into 17. Send it under brakes. Brake as soon as you're straight. Gremlin goes in a little bit deep, but Ted hasn't timed that to perfection either to get the run he needs, and a bit sideways. And Vardy closing on to Palfs, who is now coming into the pit lane. So when is he going to come in? Where is he going to come out, I should say, in terms of track position? Probably around the P8 or 9 mark, I would imagine, coming from coming from the lead of the race. At least he led it for some while. Going to the medium tyres. Will have extremely quick medium tyres, and they will not wear off one bit. Just needs to push as much as he can. Then underneath the track, very unique pit exit here at Yas Marina. And then accelerating out. Scott is going to jump him, is he? They're going to be side by side pretty much on the exit as Palfs comes out just behind Scott. So into P8, very nicely done. Would be McLaren double podium. Yeah, it would be actually. But McLaren are really strong. They've got a lot of pace, it seems, coming into Season 2, as well as Patterson. Here comes Ted looking for the counter-attack to the outside of turn 8. He's going to send it. Izzy hasn't quite been able to turn it in, but that was a very good go. And Gremlin's just about going to hang on to that one. But his Pal's looking quick. He's going to have fresh medium tyres and he's going to have matched Scott's pace and going to be in the DRS of him. So Pal's has some good pace as well. Still with a few laps left to go. Not all is over just yet. Coming through then into turn 14. And Palfs isn't staying with Scott too well. Coming down towards turn 17. Isn't the best way to brake, and he's actually lost DRS to Scott in front. So from a podium chance down to P8 after, well, strategical strategy has actually played a massive factor then in this race. The early safety car really threw things into turmoil. But the closest battle on track between Ted and Gremlin, a battle that will probably end and be decided on penalties, which is a shame, and is going to swap these two positions around once again like it did in USA. But Gremlin going to be try and hang on for that podium, at least on track, as he's on to lap 12 of 14, and Vardy up in front, really showcasing the pace he had in season 1. Didn't quite show it in the race 1, but he's come back into race 2, and he currently sits 3.5 seconds clear of Knowing Light, and Gremlin a further 3.5 seconds back in P3 with Ted right on his heels. It's been a very good couple of races to open off the season. DRS wide open, then he hasn't got a lot of energy recovery system to use as they come through down towards turn 12 or 11, I should say. This is now 12, this is 13, that's 14. Gremlin hanging on, he's got the pace, but yeah, McLaren have got a lot of good pace. They did have it in the later stages of last season, and now in USA as well. They had some great pace, coming from last to what I believe to be 4th and 5th at the flag. Red Bull versus McLaren. What is this? F1 2011? It might well be. Just need to throw a Ferrari into the mix as well, and it'll be jobs are good in. But it looks as though Gremlin now starting to stretch his legs a little bit, found a bit more pace, but with a 3-second time penalty, going to be difficult for him to extend that gap in the next 2 laps. Which, yeah, it is going to be difficult for him to do, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Ted can still bottle it, anything can happen. In the slipstream then, he's got DRS, he's going to have a little bit of ERS to use. Is the slipstream enough? He doesn't need to make any rash judgments at all, just needs to stay behind and pounce back into the DRS range of Scott. Through then into turn 9, and then the little kink of turn 10, which leads down towards the second chicane. So Gremlin defending the inside. Here comes Ted, then the fight for the podium to the outside of turn 11. He's going to get squeezed by the McLaren. Is he going to go around the outside? It'll be the inside if he can hold it, but probably a bit of a stupid move to make, and the McLaren holds on once again, and the Red Bull having to halt his advance for the time being. I'm too young to remember. I was what, 5? Yeah, 5. My maths is correct. I'd have been 5, but we don't talk about that. Bluey very wide, so his teammate is actually going to be closing onto him. So Palps is still looking good for maybe a P6 finish as they come on to the final lap, as Vardy leads them around. So certainly lap 13 for these guys. Palps a little bit wide, does not want to pick himself up a penalty, as they now cross the line for the penultimate time. 2 silver arrows, or I should say 2 black arrows, coming down towards turn 1 for the final time. Very wide from Bluey. This could invite Scott to have a little look, maybe with DRS down the back straight towards turn 8. And Powell's also looking to get involved. Under brakes into the chicane. Not often you see the 2 silver arrows battling on track, but you get to see it in APPF1. Into turn 7, got to set up a nice late apex, bit of contact from the Alfa Romeo to the back of the Mercedes. It looks as though Bluey has been a rocket ship off the back of that corner. Now Ted looking to the outside of turn 8 on the McLaren, got ahead before the braking zone, going to brake nicely and cleanly ahead and securing a 3rd place at the moment. But Palps going to the inside of Scott. He's lined up this move, he's going to get himself into the top 7, very nicely done. He will have DRS on Bluey, he needs to get this move done pretty quickly. Gremlin on the counter attack as well, coming back up the inside of him and going to reclaim that position. Of course, with a penalty it may be a bit difficult to hang on to it, but through turn 12 and 13 and then into 14 he is going to be ahead. Scott coming back at Palps. They're going to run side by side through this little fast chicane. Scott still on the inside, oh so close to contact. Scott now on the outside, Palps looking to force him all the way off the track. Scott keeps his foot in, very close stuff as they come through the fast double right-hander, which leads into the braking zone down towards the 90-degree left right wait, no, left, right, as Vardy does take the win of the race ahead of Knowing Light, who will cross a few moments earlier to make it a Red Bull and McLaren 1-2. Here comes Gremlin across line, but Ted will take the podium, so it's going to be a double Red Bull podium. And Wayne coming home in P5 with Bluey in P5 after penalties, and Palps promoted up to P6 after keeping it clean. Scott finishes P9 after penalties, and Patterson up to P8. So it looks as though Patterson didn't quite do enough in the second race. Very tricky to overtake around Yas Marina, but some people did some great stuff, a great job of it. Norris fan and Giza still battling it out for P17, last place on the grid. Scott only finished 1/10 behind Patterson for P8, and Wayne only 1/10 behind Powers. Really tried to catch the action. There was a lot going on. I was having to flick through quite a lot. Well done, Sweens. Thank you, Mark. Pleasure to have you in the stream, and all 13 of you. Make sure to like and support the stream. It's a pleasure to have you all, and thank you for the endless support. Now up to 400 subscribers, so nice support from you all there, and can't thank you enough. But Vardy takes the win of the sprint race then, ahead of Knowing Light in P2, Ted in P3, Gremlin P4, Bluey P5, Paus in P6, Wayne P7, Patterson in P8, Scott P9, Davila P10, S-Man P11, Max in P12, Kington 13th, Starry 14th, Hephaestus 15th, Sumo in P16. Didn't have the best of sprint races then, it seems. Kiza in 17th, Norwich Fan in 18th, and QB the lone retirement down in P19. But that is going to wrap up all the action tonight, guys. It's been an incredible season opener to kick off season 2. It's been round 1 at the USA and Abu Dhabi. Patterson and Vardy are the 2 race winners, both finishing in similar positions as well. Patterson finishing P8, Vardy finished around the P9 mark, and then won the race in the next one. So be interesting to see who's going to be leading the championship after this one. But nonetheless, guys, this has been brought to you by TC Focus. Do make sure to go and give him a like on Instagram and give him a follow. Does some great car photography and everything. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. I've been Zach Sweeney, bringing you the action for APPF1, and until next time, guys, goodbye.